Hi, I'm Madeleine Armstrong, the news editor of Evaluate Vantage. And over the weekend, I was covering the ESC meeting virtually. I'd like to share a couple of the big stories that I found with you. The first big story that I covered were results with AstraZeneca's SGLT2 inhibitor Farxiga in heart failure with preserved ejection fraction. The good news is that the DELIVER trial met its primary endpoint and showed a reduction in cardiovascular events and death. And in fact, the results looked very similar to those seen with Lilly and Boehringer's rival drug, Jardiance, last year. Also reassuringly, Farxiga showed a benefit across all ejection fractions, even the highest. The hope now is that this will open up the heart failure market, and as HFpEF accounts for about half of the 6 million or so patients in the US. However, so far, the penetration of the SGLT2s into heart failure has been quite slow. So the companies will need to boost uptake if they want to make the most of these opportunities, particularly as the drugs are set to start coming off patent in the next couple of years. The second story that I looked at ESC involved disappointing results with a new class of anticoagulants, the factor XI inhibitors. It had been hoped that these drugs could provide similar efficacy to current anticoagulants, but with a lower bleeding risk. Unfortunately, this didn't pan out at ESC. In studies of Bayer's asundexian and Bristol Myers Squibb and J&J's milvexian. They didn't show an efficacy benefit in 3 phase 2 trials across patients who had previously had a stroke or heart attack. The companies saw some glimmers of hope, particularly in stroke, and pointed to a reduction in symptomatic ischemic stroke, and they're pushing both projects into phase 3. However, this was overall a big disappointment. There had been multi-billion sales forecasts attached to these projects, and these now look in doubt. And all eyes are on how they will perform when phase 3 results ultimately read out. Those were my highlights from ESC, and you can find out more on the Evaluate Vantage news page.